Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract money effortlessly while you're stuck in an endless cycle of financial struggle? What if I told you the difference between wealth and worry could be determined by the last few words you speak before falling asleep each night? But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Listen closely, because what I'm about to share changed everything for me, and it might just be the financial breakthrough you've been searching for. 7 nights. That's all it took. 7 nights of saying one powerful word before sleep, and on the 8th morning, I woke up to a reality I barely recognized. My phone buzzed with unexpected money opportunities. My mind raced with creative ideas that would later turn into profitable ventures. And for the first time in months, I caught myself humming a happy tune in the shower, instead of worrying about my bank account. Has this ever happened to you? You crawl into bed exhausted after a long day, ready to drift into peaceful slumber, when suddenly your brain decides it's the perfect time to host a financial worry convention. Every unpaid bill, mounting debt, and missed opportunity parades through your mind like unwelcome guests at 2 a.m. You toss and turn, watching precious sleep minutes tick away, knowing tomorrow will bring the same financial anxieties on even less rest. What you're about to discover might surprise you because most financial gurus never talk about this critical window of opportunity. Those final moments before sleep aren't just throwaway time. They're actually the most powerful minutes of your entire day when it comes to programming your financial future. Your subconscious mind, that incredible wealth-building partner you were born with, becomes extraordinarily receptive right before you drift off to sleep. It's like having direct access to your internal money manifestation control panel, but most people are accidentally hitting all the wrong buttons. Think about it. What thoughts about money do you normally entertain as you're falling asleep? Are they thoughts of abundance and opportunity? Or are they worried calculations about how you'll make it to the next paycheck? Every single night, millions of people are unintentionally programming themselves for financial struggle, and then wondering why abundance feels so elusive during their waking hours. Stay with me until the end of this video, because I'm going to share the exact one-word ritual that reprogrammed my financial reality in just 1 week. This isn't complicated. It doesn't require special equipment, and you don't need to buy anything. All you need is your voice and those precious few minutes before sleep. What makes this approach so different is that it bypasses the usual resistance your conscious mind puts up when you try to change your financial beliefs during the day. You see, when you're fully awake, your analytical mind acts like a bouncer at an exclusive club, thoroughly examining every new idea before allowing it in. You'll never be wealthy. Rejected. Money comes easily to you. Denied entry. This critical gatekeeper is why traditional affirmations often fall flat. They simply can't get past your conscious resistance. If you found value in these prosperity techniques, hit the subscribe button now to join our abundance community. I share powerful wealth consciousness secrets every week that could transform your financial reality. But here's the hidden truth most wealth coaches never reveal. Those final moments before sleep represent a miraculous window of transformation. Your subconscious mind, which drives roughly 95% of your decisions and behaviors around money, becomes extraordinarily receptive during this twilight state. The mental bouncer goes on break, and suddenly the VIP door to your financial mindset swings wide open. Think of your pre-sleep moments as the programming session for tomorrow's financial reality. Whatever thoughts about money you entertain as you drift off become the operating instructions your subconscious follows while you dream. This nightly ritual shapes how you perceive opportunities, what financial possibilities you notice, and even how others respond to your money requests the next day. It's a profound revelation that changed my entire financial journey. I discovered that going to bed worried about bills was essentially giving my mind explicit instructions. Tomorrow, please help me find more evidence of lack and struggle. And guess what? My faithful subconscious delivered exactly that evidence day after day, reinforcing my financial anxiety in a perfect negative loop. The impact of this nightly programming extends far beyond just your thoughts. Your subconscious doesn't just influence what you notice, it literally shapes what you attract. When you fall asleep focused on scarcity, you emit that energetic frequency while you sleep. The universe, operating on vibrational matching, simply delivers more experiences that match that frequency. Imagine your mind as an overnight factory working diligently while you sleep. The raw materials it uses are your final thoughts before drifting off. Feed it thoughts of financial stress, and by morning, it has manufactured a fresh batch of money worries. But feed it thoughts of abundance, and that same factory produces creative solutions, opportunity awareness, and magnetic energy that attracts wealth. This understanding represents a complete paradigm shift in how we approach financial transformation. Most people obsess over external strategies, investments, side hustles, budget plans, while completely overlooking the internal programming that determines whether those strategies succeed or fail. It's like meticulously planning a road trip while programming your GPS to the wrong destination. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by sharing exactly how to leverage this pre-sleep window for maximum financial impact. The key lies in understanding that your subconscious responds most powerfully to specific types of language patterns that bypass your usual resistance. When you learn to speak directly to your financial subconscious in its native language, everything shifts. But first, we need to address the common mistake most people make when attempting this practice. A mistake that actually reinforces scarcity rather than abundance. Drop in the comments, "I'm reprogramming my wealth mindset," if you've ever noticed how your financial situation seems to reflect your dominant thoughts about money. The most common mistake people make, and I made this myself for years, is accidentally programming financial scarcity during those critical pre-sleep moments. Here's what typically happens. You lie down after a long day and your mind naturally drifts to unfinished business. For most people, that includes financial concerns. You start mentally calculating how much is left in your account, which bills are coming due, or whether that unexpected expense will derail your budget completely. Some nights, you might even fall asleep scrolling through social media, absorbing images of other people's financial success while subconsciously reinforcing your own perceived inadequacy. "They have what I don't" becomes the subliminal message you're sending to your wealth. Consciousness. This nightly ritual is the hidden saboteur of your financial breakthrough. It's like setting your internal GPS to a destination called perpetual struggle, and then feeling confused when you keep arriving there day after day. Your nocturnal thought patterns create a blueprint that your subconscious faithfully constructs while you sleep. The revelation that transformed my own financial journey is both simple and profound. This same mechanism that has been working against you can be intentionally redirected to work for you. The identical doorway that has allowed limitation to enter your financial reality can become the gateway through which abundance flows effortlessly. You see, your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined, especially in that twilight state between wakefulness and sleep. This is the fundamental principle behind every significant mindset transformation throughout history. When you deliberately choose what financial thoughts to plant in those final moments before sleep, you're essentially becoming the director of your own prosperity story, rather than a passive character being scripted by circumstance. Don't miss any of these life-changing prosperity practices. Subscribe to the channel right now and become part of our growing community of abundance creators. This isn't magical thinking. It's a practical application of neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to rewire itself based on repeated thought patterns and focus. By consistently directing your pre-sleep thoughts toward abundance rather than scarcity, you're literally creating new neural pathways that make prosperity your default setting, rather than a constant struggle. The awakening comes when you realize that financial freedom isn't just about what you do with your money during waking hours. It's equally about what you allow your mind to believe about money during those precious moments before sleep, your nighttime. Thoughts are planting seeds that will either blossom into opportunity or wither into limitation by morning. And here's where most people miss the pivotal shift. Changing your financial reality isn't about denying your current circumstances. It's about deliberately choosing a different focus despite those circumstances. Your financial situation might not change overnight, but your relationship to it, and thus your ability to transform it, absolutely can. Let me show you how to implement a KUA, powerful 3-part ritual that reprograms your prosperity consciousness while you sleep, utilizing specific language patterns that your subconscious responds to most readily. Type "Abundance awaits me" in the comments if you're ready to transform your pre-sleep thoughts from worry to wealth. The science behind this approach is absolutely fascinating and explains why your pre-sleep moments are so critical for financial transformation. When you drift towards sleep, your brain shifts into what neuroscientists call theta state, a dreamlike frequency where your conscious defenses are lowered and your subconscious mind becomes extraordinarily receptive to new programming. During sleep, your brain doesn't just rest, it actively processes and consolidates the information you've absorbed throughout the day. It's literally rewiring neural pathways based on what you've been focusing on. But here's the revolutionary discovery. Neuroscience research has revealed that your final thoughts before sleep receive preferential treatment in this overnight filing system. They're given priority status, embedding deeper into your subconscious than other thoughts from your day. Think of it as your brain's version of last in, first priority. The financial thoughts you entertain right before drifting off are like VIP guests at an exclusive gathering. They get special access to the deepest rooms of your wealth consciousness, influencing your decisions, perceptions, and even your energetic frequency around money for the next 24 hours. This explains why so many breakthrough insights seem to arrive overnight. Your subconscious has been diligently working on them while you sleep, especially when you've intentionally planted the right seeds before drifting off. It's not coincidence that many of history's greatest financial innovations came through dreams or upon waking. Those inventors had unintentionally tapped into this same mechanism. Now let me share the exact 3-part practice that revolutionized my own financial reality. This approach harnesses the full power of your pre-sleep programming window through specific language patterns that speak directly to your subconscious in its native tongue. The key is that you must speak these statements out loud right before closing your eyes for sleep. This isn't just a mental exercise. Your ears need to physically hear your own voice claiming these money truths. When you verbalize these statements, you create a multi-sensory experience that dramatically amplifies their impact on your subconscious. There's a profound psychological principle at work here. Your mind processes information differently when you hear yourself speak versus when you merely think thoughts. Spoken words create vibrational patterns that resonate through your entire energetic system, activating what some practitioners call your manifestation blueprint. I discovered this technique during one of the darkest financial periods of my life. Bills were stacking up, opportunities were scarce, and I felt trapped in a perpetual cycle of lack. My nighttime routine consisted of anxious calculations and worry spirals that inevitably led to fitful sleep and waking up already defeated. The internal narrative I'd been running was effectively instructing my subconscious to find more evidence of scarcity, and it was following those instructions perfectly. The journey toward abundance begins with rewiring this critical nightly routine through 3 specific types of statements that build upon each other to create a complete prosperity blueprint for your subconscious to follow. Write "Ready for my blueprint" in the comments if you're committed to implementing this practice tonight. The first component of this prosperity blueprint is a financial gratitude declaration. Right before sleep, express genuine appreciation for money that flowed to you today, no matter how small the amount might seem. This could sound like, "I am so grateful that I found that unexpected $5 in my pocket today," or "I deeply appreciate that client who paid their invoice promptly," or even, Thank you for the free coffee my colleague bought me this morning. What makes this step so transformative is that most people have trained themselves to only notice significant financial events. They'll acknowledge a big commission check or bonus, but completely overlook the countless smaller money blessings that occur daily. This selective awareness creates a distorted perception that money is scarce in your life, when in reality, it's flowing in ways you've simply been programmed not to notice. By deliberately acknowledging these micro-abundance moments before sleep, you're interrupting a lifelong pattern of scarcity focus. Even on your most challenging financial days, there are always traces of abundance present. The challenge isn't that they don't exist, but that your awareness has been filtered to exclude them. This practice works on a fascinating neurological level by activating what scientists call your reticular activating system, RAS. Essentially, your brain's filtering mechanism that determines what you notice and what you filter out from the millions of data points bombarding you every day. Your RAS is constantly asking, "What's important to my survival and success?" and then highlighting anything that matches those parameters. When you deliberately express gratitude for financial blessings before sleep, you're essentially reprogramming your RAS to prioritize evidence of abundance rather than evidence of lack. You're telling your subconscious mind, "Financial blessings are important to me. Please highlight them in my awareness tomorrow." The revelation here is that your perception literally creates your reality when it comes to prosperity. Two people with identical financial circumstances can have radically different experiences based solely on what their awareness is programmed to highlight. The person focused on scarcity perpetually lives in a reality of not enough, while the person attuned to abundance constantly discovers new financial opportunities and blessings. This perceptual shift is the foundation of all lasting wealth transformation. Before your external circumstances can change, your internal awareness must be recalibrated to notice the abundance already present. This gratitude practice creates a powerful feedback loop. The more financial blessings you acknowledge, the more your brain is trained to notice them, which in turn creates more evidence to be grateful for. I witnessed this shift in my own journey when I began expressing gratitude for receiving exactly $327 in cash back on a purchase. Previously, I would have dismissed such a small amount as insignificant. But that simple acknowledgement began training my prosperity awareness to notice all the ways money was already flowing to me. Within weeks, my perception had shifted so dramatically that opportunities I had been completely blind to suddenly became obvious. The integration of gratitude into your pre-sleep ritual creates the fertile soil in which the seeds of greater abundance can take root. But gratitude alone isn't enough. We need to add the second component that accelerates this prosperity rewiring. Type "activating my prosperity awareness" in the comments. If you've noticed how focusing on lack has filtered out evidence of abundance in your life. The second component of your pre-sleep prosperity programming builds upon the foundation of gratitude by introducing a powerful identity-based affirmation. After acknowledging the financial blessings already present in your life, you'll make a declaration about the wealthy person you are becoming. This is not about who you hope to be someday in a distant future. It's about who you are actively evolving into right now. This might sound like, "I am becoming someone who attracts financial abundance effortlessly," or "I am becoming a money magnet who recognizes valuable opportunities," or "I am becoming a person who makes confident decisions about wealth." The psychological breakthrough in this approach lies in one specific word: becoming. This single term creates a quantum leap in how your subconscious processes financial affirmations. Most traditional approaches to wealth affirmations fail because they create immediate internal resistance. When someone who's struggling financially declares, "I am wealthy," or "I am a millionaire," their conscious mind immediately rejects this as false, creating an internal conflict that actually reinforces feelings of lack. Your subconscious is incredibly literal. It doesn't process contradictions well. When there's a disconnect between your affirmation and your current reality, it creates cognitive dissonance that can actually deepen financial blocks rather than dissolve them. The word becoming is the elegant bridge that resolves this dilemma. It acknowledges that you're in process, honoring your current reality, while simultaneously claiming the identity shift that's already underway. Your subconscious accepts this framing without resistance because it aligns with how transformation actually occurs, as a gradual evolution rather than an overnight switch. This insight revolutionized my own wealth journey. For years, I'd been using absolute affirmations that my mind simply couldn't accept. The internal dialogue was constant. "I am wealthy" would be immediately countered with, "No, you're not. Look at your bank account." This created a cycle of affirmation, rejection, and deepening doubt that actually intensified my financial struggles. When I shifted to "I am becoming wealthy," something remarkable happened. My subconscious embraced this as truth, because it was truth. I was indeed in the process of becoming more prosperous, even if the external evidence hadn't fully manifested yet. This subtle reframing created alignment between my conscious and subconscious minds, eliminating the resistance that had blocked my progress for so long. The revelation here is that your identity, how you perceive yourself in relation to money, precedes and determines your financial behaviors and results. Most people try to change their financial actions without first shifting their financial identity, which is why their efforts often feel like an exhausting uphill battle. When you address the identity level first, the actions and results follow with surprising ease. By declaring who you are becoming each night before sleep, you're essentially giving your subconscious mind a new self-image to construct while you dream. You're providing the blueprint for your financial identity that will influence thousands of micro decisions and perceptions throughout the following day. Drop "becoming wealthy" in the comments if you've noticed how your self-image around money affects your financial decisions more than you realized. Now we arrive at the third component, and this is truly the game changer that accelerates your financial transformation. After expressing gratitude and declaring who you're becoming, you'll give tomorrow a specific money instruction. This might sound unusual, but consider yourself the CEO of your financial reality, sending a clear memo to your subconscious employees who work the night shift. These instructions might sound like, "Tomorrow I notice financial opportunities I've been missing," or "Tomorrow money flows to me from expected and unexpected sources," or "Tomorrow I make decisions that honor my prosperity." The specificity of targeting tomorrow creates an immediate implementation timeline that your subconscious mind responds to with remarkable precision. Rather than some vague future state, you're programming your awareness, perception, and energy for the very next day, creating a direct cause and effect relationship that rapidly builds your confidence in this process. The illuminating insight here is that your subconscious mind doesn't argue with you the way your conscious mind does. During waking hours, if you declare, "I'm going to attract amazing financial opportunities today," your analytical mind immediately jumps in with objections. Based on what evidence? You've never attracted opportunities before. Remember how you failed at this last time? But right before sleep, that analytical gatekeeper is off duty. When you tell your subconscious something about wealth in those twilight moments, it simply responds, "Okay, boss, I'll make that happen." There's no debate, no resistance, no counter-argument, just pure acceptance and implementation. This revelation completely transformed my approach to manifesting prosperity. For years, I'd been trying to convince my conscious mind of abundant possibilities during daylight hours, fighting an exhausting uphill battle against my own objections and doubts. When I shifted this programming to those pre-sleep moments, the resistance vanished entirely. The first time I experienced the power of this approach was after instructing my subconscious, "Tomorrow I discover money that's been waiting for me." The very next day, I received an email about an unclaimed insurance reimbursement from 2 years prior, funds I had completely forgotten about. Was it coincidence? Perhaps. But as these coincidences continued day after day following my nightly instructions, the pattern became undeniable. Your subconscious operates like the most sophisticated search engine ever created. When you give it clear instructions before sleep, it spends those nighttime hours scanning your environment, your memories, and your potential future for matches to your request. It then highlights these matches in your awareness the following day, creating what many people experience as synchronicities or luck. The profound shift occurs when you realize that many of these opportunities were likely always present in your environment. You simply weren't programmed to notice them. Your reticular activating system was filtering them out because they didn't match your previous instructions to focus on scarcity. By combining all three components, gratitude for current blessings, identity-based becoming statements, and specific instructions for tomorrow, you create a complete prosperity blueprint that your subconscious diligently implements while you sleep. Type "Programming My Prosperity" in the comments if you're ready to give your subconscious clear instructions tonight. Let me share a complete example of what this three-part prosperity programming might sound like when you put it all together. Tonight, as you're lying in bed with your eyes growing heavy, you might say, "I am so grateful for the unexpected commission check I received today. I am becoming someone who naturally attracts financial abundance with ease. Tomorrow, I notice all the ways money is trying to flow into my life that I usually overlook." Feel the chi difference in energy between this approach and the typical pre-sleep worry spiral. Instead of instructing your subconscious to find more evidence of struggle, you're directing it to construct a reality of increasing prosperity. This singular shift in your nightly routine can create a profound transformation in your financial landscape. What makes this practice so versatile is that you can customize it for whatever specific financial breakthrough you're currently seeking. The framework remains consistent, gratitude, becoming, and tomorrow instructions. But the content adapts to your unique circumstances and goals. For instance, if you're searching for a better paying position in your career journey, your pre-sleep programming might sound like, "I'm grateful for the interview feedback I received today that helps me improve. I am becoming someone who naturally commands premium compensation for my unique talents. Tomorrow, I discover the perfect opportunity that aligns with my skills and doubles my income." If you're growing a business, your customized version might be, "I'm grateful for the client who referred a friend to my services today. I am becoming a business owner who creates exceptional value that clients gladly pay premium prices for. Tomorrow, I attract ideal clients who value my work and pay me what I'm worth." The underlying principle remains consistent across all variations. You're providing your subconscious with clear instructions about what to search for, highlight, and create in your experience. The specificity of your language creates precision in what manifests. The beautiful paradox in this approach is that you're simultaneously acknowledging your current reality through gratitude while instructing your mind to construct an expanded financial experience. This dual awareness, honoring where you are while claiming where you're going, creates a harmonious alignment that accelerates transformation. I discovered the power of customizing these statements during a period when I was specifically focused on passive income streams. My nightly programming became, "I'm grateful for the $37 in affiliate commissions that arrived while I was sleeping last night. I am becoming someone who builds multiple streams of income that work for me around the clock. Tomorrow I discover a new passive revenue opportunity that leverages my existing knowledge." Within 3 days of beginning this specific programming, a previous client reached out about licensing my content for their platform, a passive income stream I hadn't even considered. The synchronicity was startling, but it perfectly matched the instructions I had given my subconscious. The revelation here is that your financial breakthroughs are often hiding in plain sight. Opportunities, connections, and resources that exist in your current environment but haven't been brought to your awareness. By giving your subconscious mind specific parameters to search within, you activate its extraordinary pattern recognition capabilities to identify matches to your prosperity programming. Write, customizing my prosperity code in the comments if you've already thought of how you'll adapt this framework to your specific financial goals. Now, I can almost hear what you're thinking as I explain this process. This sounds way too simple to actually work for creating real wealth. If it were this easy, wouldn't everyone be rich? That's exactly what I thought too when I first discovered this approach. My analytical mind was desperately searching for the complexity that surely must be involved in financial transformation. But here's the hidden truth I've discovered on my prosperity journey. The most powerful practices are often the simplest ones, precisely because simplicity enables consistency. The wealthiest people I know don't necessarily have the most complex financial strategies. They have the most consistent financial habits that they've maintained over time. Complex manifestation rituals with multiple steps, specific crystals, and elaborate visualizations might work momentarily, but they often fail in the long run because life gets busy, and complicated practices are the first things we abandon. The genius of this pre-sleep prosperity programming is that it requires just 2 minutes of your day, the last 2 minutes before you drift off to sleep, a time you already have available. The revelation that transformed my relationship with manifestation was recognizing that effectiveness comes from consistency rather than complexity. A simple practice done nightly for a year will create infinitely more transformation than an elaborate ritual performed occasionally when you remember or have time. This accessibility is what makes this approach so revolutionary in a world where financial transformation is often marketed as something requiring expensive courses, special equipment, or exclusive knowledge. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to download an app. You don't need to join a membership site. You just need to spend 2 minutes talking to yourself about money before bed, which, let's be honest, you're probably already doing anyway, just not in a helpful way. Most people don't realize they already have a pre-sleep financial practice. It's just a destructive one. Those minutes spent worrying about bills or mentally calculating how much is left in your account are a form of negative prosperity programming. You're not deciding whether to program your subconscious before sleep. You're only deciding whether that programming will serve or sabotage your financial future. What makes this approach particularly powerful is its accessibility across all financial circumstances. Whether you're struggling to make ends meet or already experiencing moderate success, these 2 minutes can accelerate your journey. I've witnessed this practice create breakthroughs for people starting with nothing, as well as those looking to scale already successful ventures. The profound insight here is that true financial transformation doesn't begin with changing your external circumstances. It begins with changing the internal programming that created those circumstances. When you shift what happens in those final moments before sleep, you initiate a chain reaction that eventually reshapes your financial reality from the inside out. Many people spend years trying to change their financial situation through external actions. A loan, working harder, cutting expenses, pursuing new opportunities, while unconsciously maintaining the same scarcity programming each night. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. This simple practice repairs the hole so that your daily efforts can finally accumulate into lasting prosperity. Share Simplicity Creates Consistency in the comments if you've noticed how the most powerful habits in your life have been the simplest ones to maintain. The real magic of this practice reveals itself the morning after you begin. Instead of waking up with that familiar knot of financial anxiety in your stomach, you'll notice a subtle but significant shift in your awareness. That first morning, you might just feel slightly more optimistic, perhaps catching yourself humming in the shower instead of mentally rehearsing financial worries. But as you continue this nightly practice, the transformation deepens. You'll begin naturally scanning for money opportunities you programmed yourself to see, noticing possibilities in conversations that would have previously sailed right past you. Your brain will spontaneously serve up creative ideas for increasing your income, solutions to financial challenges, or innovative ways to provide more value in your work. This shift happens because you've literally changed what your reticular activating system is programmed to highlight in your environment. It's like upgrading the operating system of your financial awareness to run Prosperity Finder 2.0 instead of the default scarcity scanner that most people unconsciously install through years of worry. One client described her experience after just 5 nights of this practice. It wasn't that my financial situation changed overnight. It was that I suddenly had different thoughts about the same situation. Where I previously saw dead ends, I started seeing doorways. It was like someone adjusted the lens through which I was viewing my finances. Now, let me address an important misconception. This practice isn't about pretending your bills don't exist or ignoring real financial challenges through toxic positivity. That approach creates internal conflict that actually blocks manifestation. This is about training your mental spotlight to illuminate possibilities for wealth instead of exclusively focusing on problems. The revelation that changed my approach to financial well-being was understanding that attention is a zero-sum game. Every moment you spend fixated on a financial problem is a moment you're not invested in discovering its solution. Every night you fall asleep rehearsing, lack is a night you're not programming abundance. Think of it as the difference between standing in a dark room with a flashlight. You can point that beam exclusively at the obstacles in your path, or you can use it to find the door leading to a brighter space. The obstacles don't disappear when you stop spotlighting them. You simply allocate more attention to discovering the way forward. This balanced approach is about becoming solution-focused rather than problem-obsessed. It's about acknowledging your current financial reality while simultaneously expanding your awareness to include the prosperity potential that exists alongside it. Both realities coexist in your life. Which one grows depends entirely on where you direct your attention, especially in those critical moments before sleep. I experienced this shift most profoundly during one of the most challenging financial periods of my life. Bills were mounting, income was unpredictable, and legitimate stress was present. Rather than denying this reality, I acknowledged it briefly each evening, then deliberately shifted my pre-sleep focus to programming prosperity. Within weeks, my external circumstances hadn't dramatically changed, but my relationship to them had transformed completely, opening pathways to solutions I couldn't see when fixated on the problems. Type balancing reality. With possibility in the comments if you've noticed how focusing exclusively on financial problems has never actually solved them. Let me share something that brought me immense relief when I discovered it. This practice doesn't require perfection to work. Some nights you'll forget to do it entirely. Some nights you'll be so exhausted you can barely mumble a few words about money before drifting off. Some nights your statements might feel mechanical, or you might not feel the emotional resonance you'd like. That's all perfectly fine. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress and consistency over time. The transformation happens through the cumulative effect of this practice, not through doing it flawlessly every single night. Even implementing this prosperity programming just 3 nights a week will create noticeable shifts in your financial awareness and opportunities. This realization was incredibly liberating on my own journey. For weeks, I beat myself up whenever I missed a night or fell asleep mid-affirmation. I worried I was doing it wrong and therefore blocking my manifestations. What I eventually understood was that my subconscious mind doesn't operate on an all-or-nothing basis. Each positive programming session creates incremental rewiring regardless of whether you maintained a perfect streak. The profound insight here is that financial transformation follows natural growth patterns rather than mechanical ones. Think of how a garden develops. Missing a day of watering doesn't kill all the plants. A single storm doesn't wash away weeks of growth. Natural systems are resilient, and your prosperity consciousness works the same way. Now, I want to address something especially important. If you're currently facing serious financial challenges, if you're dealing with debt, struggling to make ends meet, or experiencing genuine money stress, this practice becomes even more essential, not less. When finances feel tight, these bedtime declarations become like planting seeds of prosperity in the soil of difficulty. During times of financial hardship, our natural tendency is to focus exclusively on the problem, rehearsing it mentally from every angle, especially in those vulnerable pre-sleep moments. This inadvertently programs our subconscious to find more evidence of struggle, creating a self-reinforcing cycle that makes breakthroughs seem impossible. The key insight that changed everything for me during my own financial rock bottom was understanding that acknowledging challenges and cultivating prosperity awareness can coexist. You're not denying the reality of your situation. You're simply ensuring that abundance gets equal airtime in your mental programming. This dual awareness, honoring your current challenges while simultaneously planting seeds for future prosperity, creates a psychological environment where solutions can emerge. It's like making sure both the problem and potential pathways forward are visible on your internal GPS rather than spotlighting only the obstacles. One client who was facing foreclosure described her experience. Using this practice during the worst financial crisis of my life felt counterintuitive at first, but I realized I had nothing to lose. What surprised me was how it created small pockets of peace and clarity amidst the chaos. Those moments of clarity eventually led to the solution that saved my home. Write "planting seeds in difficult soil" in the comments if you're ready to use this practice, especially during challenging financial times rather than waiting until things feel easier. So here's your immediate action step for tonight. A simple blueprint to begin your prosperity reprogramming right away. Before you get into bed, when you're in that relaxed state but still awake, take a moment to implement this 3-part practice. First, identify one money blessing from today that you can genuinely appreciate. It doesn't need to be dramatic. Perhaps you saved a few dollars on groceries, received an unexpected discount, or simply had enough to cover your expenses today. Second, choose one wealth quality about yourself that you're developing right now. This might be becoming more discerning with spending, becoming more creative with income streams, or becoming more confident in asking for what you're worth. Remember to use that powerful word, becoming, to bypass resistance. Third, give tomorrow one positive financial instruction, a clear, specific directive, for your subconscious to implement while you sleep. This could be noticing opportunities, attracting unexpected income, or making wise money decisions throughout the day. Then simply say all 3 statements out loud, allowing your own ears to hear your voice, claiming these prosperity truths. The entire process takes less than 2 minutes, but initiates a profound rewiring of your financial subconscious. Now, to experience a genuine shift in your prosperity consciousness, I invite you to accept the 7-Day Wealth Challenge. Commit to doing this practice for 7 consecutive nights. This time frame isn't arbitrary. Neuroscience research shows that consistent repetition for approximately 1 week is often enough to begin establishing new neural pathways and disrupting old patterns. Mark it on your calendar right now. Set a recurring reminder on your phone for about 15 minutes before you typically fall asleep. Create some accountability by telling someone else about your commitment to this 7-day experiment. These simple steps dramatically increase the likelihood that you'll follow through consistently. After 7 nights of this practice, I guarantee you'll notice shifts in your financial awareness, money opportunities, and overall sense of abundance. For some people, these shifts manifest as sudden synchronicities, unexpected checks, surprise opportunities, or spontaneous solutions to financial challenges. For others, the transformation is more subtle, a growing sense of possibility around money, decreased anxiety when checking your accounts, or creative ideas for increasing your income. The fascinating aspect of this journey is that the external evidence often follows the internal shift rather than preceding it. You'll likely notice changes in your thoughts and feelings about money before dramatic changes in your circumstances. This is perfectly normal and actually indicates that the process is working exactly as it should. One client described her experience. By day 4, nothing had changed in my bank account, but everything had changed in how I felt when thinking about money. The knot in my stomach was gone. By day 6, I had my first unexpected income, A client I hadn't heard from in months suddenly reached out wanting to restart our work together. The 7-day timeline provides enough structure to create momentum while being short enough to feel completely doable. The key is approaching it as an experiment rather than a test. You're simply gathering data about how this practice affects your prosperity consciousness. Drop "starting my 7-day challenge tonight" in the comments if you're committing to this wealth experiment right now. Now, I want to invite you into a powerful dimension of this practice, the community aspect of prosperity consciousness. There's something transformative that happens when we not only acknowledge abundance privately, but also share it publicly. I want you to do something right now. Leave a comment below and tell me one financial blessing you're grateful for today. It could be something as simple as, "I'm grateful I was able to pay my phone bill on time," or as significant as, "I'm thankful for the unexpected bonus I received at work." When you write down your financial gratitude and share it with this community, you're already beginning to retrain your brain to notice the abundance in your life. The act of putting your blessing into words forces your mind to scan for evidence of prosperity rather than scarcity. Additionally, seeing others' financial gratitude creates a beautiful ripple effect, reminding you of blessings you might have overlooked in your own life. This shared practice creates a collective field of prosperity awareness that benefits everyone who participates. I've witnessed remarkable synchronicities occur when people begin acknowledging abundance together, as if the collective recognition magnifies the manifestation power for each individual. The deeper revelation here connects to the fundamental power of your words in creating your financial reality. Ancient wisdom traditions have long recognized that words carry creative force. They're not just descriptions of reality, but actual instruments of creation. Modern neuroscience confirms this understanding, showing that the language we use literally shapes the neural pathways through which we perceive and interact with the world. Your words about money have extraordinary power, especially the ones you speak to yourself in those quiet, vulnerable moments before sleep. When your conscious defenses are lowered and your subconscious is most receptive, the financial language you use becomes the programming code that shapes tomorrow's prosperity experience. This understanding places profound responsibility and opportunity in your hands. You get to choose whether you're programming yourself for prosperity or poverty, for abundance or lack, for financial freedom or struggle. No one else makes this choice for you. Not your past experiences, not your current circumstances, not the economic climate, not your family history around money. Each night, as you lie in bed about to drift into sleep, you stand at a crossroads of consciousness. One path leads toward expanded financial possibility. The other reinforces limitation and scarcity. The words you speak in those moments determine which path you'll travel when you wake. I've witnessed this choice transform lives across every imaginable circumstance, from people facing bankruptcy to those already experiencing significant success. The millionaire who falls asleep worrying about losing it all programs limitation just as surely as the person struggling paycheck to paycheck. Likewise, the person in financial crisis who plants seeds of abundance before sleep initiates the same prosperity mechanism as the wealthy individual who does so. The illuminating truth is that while we can't always control our financial circumstances, immediately we have complete authority over our financial programming. And that programming ultimately shapes what manifests in our external reality. Type, "My words create my wealth" in the comments if you're ready to take full responsibility for your financial programming starting tonight. Now, I want to go even deeper into this practice by revealing the single most powerful word you can incorporate into your pre-sleep prosperity programming. If you've resonated with what I've shared so far and want to experience even more profound transformation in your financial reality, this revelation will amplify everything we've discussed. Through years of studying the neuroscience of wealth consciousness and testing countless variations of this practice with thousands of clients, I've discovered that certain words create more powerful subconscious activation than others. They seem to operate at a higher vibrational frequency that aligns directly with universal prosperity laws. The most potent word you can say before sleep, the one that creates the strongest neurological and energetic shift, is abundance. This single word literally reprograms your subconscious to start seeking and creating wealth in your life with remarkable precision. When you say abundance as you drift off to sleep, especially as the very last word before your consciousness fades, you're giving your mind a direct command to manifest more of everything positive in your experience. Unlike complex affirmations that your drowsy mind might struggle to process, this single word instruction bypasses all resistance and penetrates directly into your financial blueprint. The revelation that transformed my own practice was discovering that your subconscious responds not just to the meaning of this word, but to its actual sound vibration. The phonetic structure of abundance creates a specific frequency pattern that resonates with prosperity consciousness at a fundamental level. Ancient manifestation traditions recognized this power thousands of years ago, incorporating similar sound patterns into their abundance chants and rituals. You can integrate this powerful word into your three-part practice by simply adding it as the final statement. After expressing gratitude, declaring who you're becoming, and giving tomorrow its instruction, close with the single word, abundance, allowing it to be the last thing your subconscious receives before sleep. Alternatively, you can use it as a one-word meditation if you're too tired for the complete practice. Simply repeating abundance 3 times as you drift off still activates this prosperity programming in your subconscious. The key is making it the final input before sleep overtakes you. What fascinates me about this approach is how something so seemingly simple can create such profound neural rewiring. The latest research in psycholinguistics explains this phenomenon. Single-word programming creates what scientists call semantic priming, essentially preparing your brain's neural networks to preferentially notice, process, and create experiences related to that specific concept. When abundance is your final pre-sleep instruction, your reticular activating system spends the entire night recalibrating to highlight prosperity-related patterns in your environment. This creates a fundamentally different perceptual experience when you wake, without you having to consciously try to think positively throughout the day. Drop abundance in the comments if you're committed to making this powerful word the last thing your subconscious hears before sleep tonight. Let's explore an often overlooked dimension of this practice, the actual pronunciation of this power word. There's a specific way to say abundance that dramatically amplifies its manifestation potential. Rather than quickly mumbling it as you drift off, I want you to stretch out the syllables deliberately. Abundance. Give each part of the word its own space and energy, almost as if you're savoring each syllable like the last bite of your favorite dessert. As you speak it, pay attention to the physical sensation. You should actually feel a subtle vibration in your chest as the word resonates through your body. This isn't just a mental exercise. It's a full-body activation that aligns your entire energetic system with prosperity consciousness. Ancient manifestation traditions understood that sound creates physical vibrations that literally restructure the energy field around us. This vibrational quality is why speaking the word aloud is so much more powerful than simply thinking it. When you vocalize abundance with intention, you're creating sound waves that ripple through both your physical body and your subtle energy field, activating the frequency of prosperity at multiple levels of your being. This multidimensional activation is what aligns you with the universal laws of wealth attraction. The revelation that transformed my own practice was discovering that the word abundance contains the phonetic elements that naturally align with prosperity frequency. The open A sound initiates the flow, the grounded bun stabilizes it, and the expansive dance distributes it through your consciousness. It's almost as if this word was designed as a prosperity activation code for human consciousness. Now, to amplify this effect even further, I want to share a powerful enhancement to this practice. After speaking the word abundance as your final pre-sleep instruction, spend approximately 30 seconds visualizing money flowing to you from multiple sources. See this as clearly as possible. Checks arriving in your mailbox, notification alerts of deposits to your account, clients eagerly paying invoices, unexpected refunds or rebates appearing. This brief visualization adds rocket fuel to your verbal command by engaging another powerful dimension of your manifestation capacity. While the spoken word programs your subconscious directly, the visualization creates a multi-sensory blueprint that your mind can work with throughout the night. It's like providing both the instruction and the implementation plan in one complete package. The key insight here is that your subconscious doesn't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual one. It processes both as real and begins creating neural pathways accordingly. When you combine the vibrational activation of the spoken word with the visual blueprint of money flowing to you, you create a complete prosperity imprint that your subconscious faithfully works to manifest. What fascinates me about this approach is how it creates a bridge between ancient manifestation wisdom and cutting-edge neuroscience. Traditional prosperity practices have always emphasized sound and visualization, while modern brain research confirms that these modalities create measurable changes in neural activity and perception. Write abundance in the comments if you're committed to properly pronouncing this power word tonight and adding the visualization component to your practice. Now, I want to share a fascinating experiment that amplifies this entire practice through the power of physical symbolism. Try this tonight. Place a single dollar bill under your pillow as you perform your pre-sleep prosperity programming. This might sound unusual at first, but there's profound wisdom behind this approach that bridges the gap between your subconscious programming and your physical reality. This simple act creates a tangible anchor for your prosperity programming, a physical representation that your mind can connect with the abstract concept of abundance. It's like establishing a direct channel between your mental instructions and the material world, sending a clear message to the universe that you're not just thinking about prosperity theoretically, you're ready to receive it tangibly. The insight that transformed my understanding of manifestation was recognizing that our subconscious mind responds powerfully to physical symbols and rituals. When you place actual currency under your pillow while saying abundance, you create what psychologists call a pattern interrupt, breaking your habitual relationship with money and establishing a new association between sleep, your most vulnerable state, and financial flow. This experiment operates on multiple dimensions simultaneously. On the psychological level, it demonstrates your willingness to have a more intimate relationship with currency. On the energetic level, it allows the vibrational frequency of money to interact with your aura throughout the night. And on the symbolic level, it declares to your subconscious that you're comfortable enough with prosperity to literally sleep with it. The revelation that changed everything for me was understanding how the universe actually responds to our manifestation efforts. Most people approach financial manifestation with desperate intensity, pleading for abundance with emotional fervor for a night or two, then abandoning the practice when immediate results don't appear. But the universe doesn't respond to intensity nearly as much as it responds to consistency. Saying abundance calmly and deliberately for 30 nights straight is infinitely more powerful than shouting it with desperate energy for a single night. Financial manifestation operates according to principles more similar to planting a garden than ordering takeout. It requires patient persistence rather than urgent demand. This understanding fundamentally changed my approach to prosperity consciousness. Instead of treating abundance as an emergency rescue that needed to arrive immediately, I began seeing it as a natural emergence that I was cultivating through consistent attention and care. This shift alone dissolved much of the resistance that had been blocking my financial flow. What fascinates me about this journey of transformation is how it reveals the hidden mechanics behind what many people dismiss as coincidence or luck. When you understand the principles of consistent prosperity programming, you recognize that financial lucky breaks are actually the natural harvest of seeds planted during those critical pre-sleep moments. The dollar under your pillow serves as both symbolic seed and physical reminder of this process, a bridge between the invisible world of consciousness and the visible world of material abundance. It creates a feedback loop that reinforces your prosperity programming night after night. Leave planting my prosperity seeds in the comments if you're going to try the dollar underpillow experiment tonight. Let's expand our prosperity practice beyond just the bedtime affirmations by creating an entire sleep sanctuary that supports your wealth consciousness. Your physical environment profoundly influences your subconscious mind, especially during those vulnerable pre-sleep and post-waking moments. By intentionally designing your bedroom to reflect and amplify abundance energy, you create a 24-hour prosperity immersion that accelerates your financial transformation. Start by removing clutter from your sleeping space, particularly around your bed. In both ancient wisdom traditions and modern feng shui practice, clutter represents stagnant energy that literally blocks the flow of prosperity. When wealth consciousness attempts to expand in your life, it needs clear channels to move through, both in your mind and in your physical environment. A cluttered bedroom sends a subconscious message that you don't have space for abundance to enter. Next, incorporate the color green strategically in your bedroom decor. Green has been shown in color psychology studies to activate the heart chakra, the energy center that governs our ability to receive and circulate abundance. This doesn't require repainting your entire room. Even small touches like a green plant, emerald-colored crystals on your nightstand, or a jade-green throw pillow can create this prosperity activation. The third environmental element involves keeping intentional symbols of abundance near your bed. This could be anything that represents wealth to you personally, perhaps a beautiful coin, a small crystal, an image of something you're manifesting, or even a handwritten prosperity affirmation. These objects serve as physical anchors for your wealth consciousness continuously, broadcasting prosperity frequency even when you're not consciously focusing on abundance. This environmental alignment creates a powerful container for your pre-sleep programming, ensuring that every aspect of your sleeping experience reinforces your prosperity consciousness. The mind responds not just to verbal instructions, but to the entire sensory environment, which is why creating this complete abundance immersion accelerates your manifestation. Now, to create a complete prosperity circuit, we need to establish a morning ritual that cements the overnight programming before it gets diluted by the day's distractions. The moment of waking represents another powerful gateway to your subconscious mind. A brief window when you're still in that receptive theta brain state before fully entering conscious awareness. When you first wake up, before your feet even touch the floor, immediately say, "Thank you for the abundance flowing to me today." This expression of gratitude in advance is revolutionary because it assumes the prosperity is already in motion rather than something you're still hoping to attract. It creates a powerful bookend to your nighttime practice and sets the energetic tone for a prosperous day. This morning declaration essentially tells your subconscious, the prosperity programming we did last night is already working. Let's continue building on that momentum. It creates a seamless transition between your sleep state manifestation work and your waking life. Prosperity awareness. The transformation occurs when these practices become not just occasional techniques, but a lifestyle, a complete prosperity consciousness that spans from the moment you close your eyes at night to the moment you open them in the morning and throughout your day. Comment, morning and night abundance, if you're committed to creating this complete prosperity circuit in both your pre-sleep and post-waking moments. Now, I want to go even deeper into understanding what actually happens during your sleep when you use this prosperity programming practice. Something truly extraordinary occurs beneath the surface of your consciousness throughout the night. Your subconscious mind, that brilliant 95% of your mental capacity that operates below your awareness, actively works to dismantle limiting beliefs about money when properly programmed before sleep. Think of these limiting beliefs as invisible barriers that have been blocking your wealth for years. Perhaps beliefs like money is hard to come by, wealthy people are somehow corrupt, or I don't deserve financial abundance. These deep-seated convictions were likely installed during childhood or through painful experiences, creating a prosperity ceiling that no amount of conscious effort seems able to break through. The revelation that transformed my journey was discovering that sleep represents a unique opportunity for belief restructuring. During REM sleep, your brain naturally processes emotional, material, and reorganizes neural pathways without the interference of your conscious mind. By adding one simple phrase to your bedtime practice, I release all resistance to receiving wealth, you initiate a profound clearing process that continues automatically throughout your sleep cycles. This release statement acts like a permission slip for your subconscious to identify and dissolve financial blocks you might not even be consciously aware of. It's similar to running a cleanup program on your computer while you're away. The system optimization happens in the background without requiring your active participation. One client described her experience. After adding the release statement to my practice, I started having dreams about finding money in unexpected places or discovering I had accounts I'd forgotten about. When I woke up, I felt lighter around financial topics that had previously caused anxiety. It was as if invisible weights were being lifted night by night. The framework for understanding this process comes from both neuroscience and energy psychology. As resistance dissolves during sleep, new neural pathways can form more easily, creating fresh patterns of thought and behavior around money. Simultaneously, the energetic frequency of your prosperity consciousness naturally elevates as blocks are cleared, allowing you to align more fully with abundance. Another dimension of this prosperity journey involves understanding divine timing in manifestation. Sometimes financial breakthroughs happen almost instantly after beginning this practice. Unexpected checks arrive, forgotten refunds appear, or new opportunities emerge within days. Other times, there's what appears to be a delay, which often means something even better is being arranged behind the scenes. This divine delay concept represents a profound shift in how we approach manifestation. Rather than seeing a lack of immediate results as failure, recognize it as part of the perfection of timing. Perhaps additional resources are being gathered, ideal connections are being established, or your own consciousness is being prepared to receive at a higher level than you initially requested. Share "releasing while I sleep" in the comments if you've noticed resistance or blocks in your relationship with money that could benefit from this nighttime clearing process. Let's explore one of the most common challenges that arises during this prosperity journey: the inevitable appearance of doubts. Even as you implement this powerful practice, there will likely be moments when your logical mind interrupts with questions like, "Is this really working?" Or, "Can changing my pre-sleep thoughts actually transform my financial reality?" These doubts are completely natural and represent your old programming making a last-ditch effort to maintain the status quo. The breakthrough insight that transformed my relationship with doubt was recognizing that resistance doesn't need to be eliminated. Before proceeding, it simply needs to be acknowledged and then gently bypassed. When these questioning thoughts arise, rather than fighting them or feeling discouraged by their presence, simply acknowledge them with compassion and then make a conscious pivot with this powerful statement: "Nevertheless, I choose to believe in my abundance." This declaration is revolutionary because it doesn't deny the existence of your doubts. It simply asserts your sovereignty over them. The word "nevertheless" creates a profound psychological bridge that honors your current experience while simultaneously claiming your power to choose a different perspective. It's like telling your doubts, "I see you, but you don't get to make the final decision about my prosperity consciousness." This approach aligns with the latest understanding in cognitive psychology about how belief systems actually transform. Lasting change rarely occurs through denying contradictory thoughts, but rather through consistently choosing a new focus despite their presence. Your doubts don't need to disappear completely for this practice to work. They simply need to be gently acknowledged and then released as you recommit to your prosperity programming. Now, I want to share something remarkable that happens when you maintain consistency with this practice despite occasional doubts. After approximately 21 days of this nightly ritual, many people experience what I call a prosperity quantum leap, a sudden influx of money or opportunity that seems to appear out of nowhere. This isn't magical thinking, It's a well-documented phenomenon in both manifestation circles and neuroplasticity research. This quantum leap occurs because your subconscious mind has finally accumulated enough consistent prosperity programming to overcome years or decades of scarcity conditioning. It's similar to water heating. The temperature rises gradually, degree by degree, with no visible change, and then suddenly, at the boiling point, a dramatic transformation occurs. Your financial consciousness operates in a similar pattern. The revelation that changed my understanding of manifestation was recognizing that transformation often follows this non-linear path. For 3 weeks, you might see small evidence of shift, perhaps increased awareness of opportunities or subtle improvements in how you feel about money. Then suddenly, a significant breakthrough materializes. An unexpected check, a perfect job offer, or a creative solution to a financial challenge that had seemed insurmountable. Type "ready for my quantum leap" in the comments if you're committed to the 21-day consistency that creates these dramatic financial breakthroughs. Now I want to introduce a powerful practice that accelerates your prosperity manifestation by making the evidence visible. Keep what I call a money miracle journal right by your bedside. This simple notebook serves a profound purpose in your financial transformation journey. Each morning after you wake up, and throughout your day as you notice them, write down every unexpected financial blessing that comes your way, no matter how seemingly insignificant. Did you find a quarter on the sidewalk? Write it down. Did someone unexpectedly treat you to coffee? Record it. Did you receive a surprise discount or refund? Document it. This practice might seem trivial at first glance, but it creates something essential for deep transformation. Tangible evidence for your subconscious that the process is working. Your mind operates on a feedback loop of evidence and belief. When you consistently document these money miracles, you're creating an undeniable record that prosperity is already flowing into your life. This visual proof speaks directly to your subconscious in a language more powerful than affirmations alone, the language of demonstrated reality. The illumination I experienced in my own journey came when I realized that we're constantly surrounded by evidence of abundance, but our scarcity programming has trained us to filter it out as insignificant or coincidental. The Money Miracle Journal reverses this filtering mechanism, training your awareness to capture and value every instance of financial flow, no matter how small. This documentation practice creates what psychologists call a confirmation bias. But in this case, it's working for you rather than against you. As you fill pages with evidence of money flowing into your life, your subconscious receives undeniable proof that abundance is your natural state, accelerating your manifestation capacity exponentially. Beyond your personal transformation, there's a profound ripple effect that occurs as you shift your prosperity consciousness. As you transform your financial reality through this simple bedtime practice, you'll naturally help others do the same, not through preaching or teaching, but through the energetic field you begin to emanate. The most revolutionary understanding about abundance is that it's not a zero-sum game. Your prosperity doesn't diminish anyone else's potential for wealth. In fact, the opposite occurs. Your expanding prosperity consciousness creates more prosperity for everyone around you through a principle quantum physicists call entanglement and spiritual traditions call oneness. When you shift your relationship with money from fear to flow, from scarcity to abundance, you become a living transmission of possibility for others. People sense this shift in you, perhaps noticing your decreased anxiety around finances, your more generous spirit, or the synchronicities that seem to follow you. Without saying a word about this practice, your transformed presence inspires others to believe that perhaps a new relationship with money is possible for them too. This collective healing around money consciousness may be the most meaningful outcome of your personal practice. In a world where financial anxiety has reached epidemic proportions, your peaceful nights of prosperity programming contribute to healing our collective relationship with wealth, one person at a time. Share, creating ripples of abundance in the comments if you resonate with how your prosperity can positively impact those around you rather than diminishing their opportunities. As we reach this moment together, I want to thank you for joining me on this prosperity journey. What we've explored isn't just a technique, it's a complete paradigm shift in how we relate to wealth creation. If you've resonated with this approach to financial transformation, I'd love to continue sharing these hidden prosperity secrets with you. Subscribe to the channel so we can deepen this exploration together. I share new wealth consciousness insights every week that build on what we've discussed today. If this message about pre-sleep prosperity programming felt like it was speaking directly to your soul, leave a comment saying, "Abundance is my birthright," so I know we're connected on this path. Your comment also helps others discover this practice who might be searching for exactly this message right now. I'd be grateful if you'd tap that like button. It's a small gesture that actually creates big ripples, helping this prosperity wisdom reach more people who are ready for financial transformation. Every like expands our abundance community. There's a video right here that perfectly complements what we've learned today, diving deeper into how to remove specific money blocks that might be sabotaging your manifestations even while you sleep. Click and continue with me over there to discover the next level of your prosperity awakening. Remember, your financial freedom journey doesn't happen overnight. It unfolds one peaceful night's sleep at a time. I'll see you in the next video.